what this could be, we lost, several friends even during the process of starting this whole company. And so it really kind of, it forced us to kind of pause and kind of, well, no pun intended.
Yeah. But I'm bummed.
But to take pause and, like want to, you know, be a positive influence, in the area of mental health. I'll be specific here. We've lost some friends to battles with mental health, and they're all men, our age, from our class, people that we grew up with here in Santa Fe, and it's one of those things that just makes you look hard at wanting to wanting to create positive change there, or do everything we can to create change in that respect to boost mental health. And how does that tie into to Dog Dad Supply Company? Well, we see animals and dog ownership and as a huge component to mental health stability. I know it's worked for me in my life, and my buddy Keith and his, and not to say that that's the end all be all, like all you have to do is get a dog, but there's not only the connection that you have with an animal, and it's good for physical health and most certainly mental health, but the whole concept around Dog Dads is to create a community, or at least a connection to the community of fellow dog lovers. So that's why it's not called Keith and Kenny's Dog Company. That's why it's not called, one of our dogs' name is Banjo, which is a great name. So it's not called, Banjo's Dog Products. It's Dog Dad Supply Company, because, and I was just so surprised. Even when we made our kind of initial line of T-shirts, just wearing that around, getting reactions from people, strangers, just on the street. It's like, oh, Dog Dads. It allows you to kind of just open up and have a conversation with a stranger, but a like-minded, fellow dog lover, wherever you go. And so that's kind of the whole idea. And so as we were, kind of thinking about how can we do something positive in this way, we started looking around for organizations that specifically, used dogs in some way, for mental health support. And so we found Operation Freedom Paws. They're based in California, but they're a national organization. They rescue dogs and they train them with, mostly veterans, first responders, people with disabilities. They train the dog, the rescue dog, and their future owner together, and it's a beautiful process. And the bond that creates, when a sheltered dog gets a second chance at life, to be a support animal for someone who really needs